Tonight on UI7 News, the UI7 News team celebrates the week before Thanksgiving by telling you what we're thankful for.
Then find out what set off a bulldozer blockade on the 500 block of 6th Street.
Later, see how tobacco and nicotine regulations are bringing an end to the use of e-cigarettes on campus.
Your UI7 News starts right now.
From the Richmond Journalism Teaching Studio at the University of Illinois campus, UI7 News, your U of I news source.
Good evening, Champaign-Urbana. I'm Joseph Longo, and welcome to your Thursday edition of UI7 News.
And I'm Aaron Navarro. It's a beautiful snowy day today, and we're covering some breaking news in the local community. UI7's Shane Eisentooth is here to join us with a quick look at the weather over the next 3 days.
Well, Aaron, like you said, it is getting pretty snowy out. If you look out your window, you'll see that the Champaign-Urbana area is covered with snow. Now let's take a look at this weekend's weather. The sun looks to finally peek out from behind the clouds tomorrow, which will be a nice change of pace and a high of 40 degrees. But as we continue through the weekend, it seems like the snow will return. To prepare for this next snowfall, make sure to salt your walkway and driveway beforehand so you don't slip and injure yourself. I'll be here for your full newscast in a little bit later.
Thanks for the update, Shane. In local news, things are starting to get back to normal after a gas leak shut down a portion of Champaign for nearly 9 hours. The 500 block of 6th Street was closed off most of Tuesday night due to the gas leak. The Champaign Fire Department and Ameren Energy worked on the leak beginning around 6 p.m. At what point they required the use of a bulldozer to get to the source of the leak. However, Deputy Fire Marshal Randy Smith said they didn't have to extract any pipes. Luckily, no readings or evacuations happened, and officers left the scene around 2 a.m.
Both the Urbana and Champaign City Councils have been approving building developments left and right as the county continues to grow. The latest is right here on campus. The Mechanical Engineering Building has been located on the corner of Goodwin and Green Streets in Urbana since 1950. Now, nearly 70 years later, it's set for a renovation. The university broke ground on the project developing 85,000 square feet. But that's not all. The university is spending $100,000 on art for the new building. So, if you're a mechanical engineer and you have an artistic pitch, contact the Mechanical Science and Engineering office. They'll love to hear from you.
I went to the Champaign City Council meeting to see what they thought about Governor-elect J.B. Pritzker's agenda on legalizing marijuana, only to find them discussing their own sets of changes. As the law stands right now, if a person is found with less than 10 grams of marijuana in Urbana, they pay $50. In Champaign, it's a minimum of $350. This difference was the catalyst for a city council study session on Tuesday, where they decided two things. One, that the city ordinance fee for having less than 10 grams of marijuana will match Urbana's.
At that time, I think it's appropriate to have a fine that would be across the board $50.
And two, they will have another session to decide whether to repeal the fine altogether. With Pritzker pushing for legalization statewide, council members are getting prepared.
Pretty apparent to me that that's what will happen, and I don't want to be on the trailing edge of that.
Still, when they considered repealing the fee, the session spiraled into debates about the legal status of marijuana here in Illinois and in the nation.
You know, right now we're in a really interesting time because we're somewhat informal a little bit about marijuana use, but you know, like tonight's discussion, it is still a controlled substance. It's still illegal.
Councilwoman Clarissa Foreman introduced the topic for their session. She advocated for the lowering of the fine as low as $5. But she mainly wants the city to act soon and not wait for the state.
Well, I think everybody looking at the state level aren't being honest with the national politics we have right now. And with the Trump administration, we can't trust that even if Illinois does do something, that Pritzker can handle what the Trump administration is going to throw at him.
The council also made the decision that the $50 fee will apply to everyone, regardless of age. As for the lowering of the fine, they will have a final vote next month. While it is not yet scheduled, the council did say they would have another study session about repealing the fee altogether in the near future.
While marijuana reform is in place, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration is proposing new regulations to regulate flavored nicotine products. and this is coming after a dramatic rise in vaping among high schoolers. The FDA says e-cigarettes use has increased to 78% among high schoolers and 48% among middle schoolers between 2017 and 2018. So the agency is proposing making policies against flavored e-cigarettes tougher. These proposals could ultimately prompt the removal from shelves and websites that are accessible to minors. Mint, methanol, and tobacco flavors are not included in the proposed changes. The FDA says the e-cigs are meant to help adults who want to quit smoking.
Still to come on UI7 News, we discuss media in the White House as well as Veterans Day on campus.
And a little later, UI7's Shane Eisenhuth gives us an update on the flurries in the community.
We'll see you then.
You can do it here. But I get it, you're busy.
What's going on there?
Busy
What
people
is
can't
this?
have
I don't know.
diabetes. I read that wrong. They can, okay? Just go to the site.
I sent him a text. He texts me back and say, "Who dis?"
The next few weeks, you just made fun of me, like would answer the door and say, "Who dis?"
Who dis?
Drop off a warm meal and get more than you expect. Volunteer at americaletsdolunch.org.
Truth is, I'm impressed. I haven't been asked such intelligent questions in a long time. Nice.
Thank you.
You're very smooth.
You're very smooth yourself.
After 15 years of smoking, Eva Marie quit. There's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Hello and welcome back. I'm Aaron Navarro.
And I'm Joseph Longo. The midterm elections may have been over for a week, but the wait for results in Florida continues. The deadline for a recount came and passed this afternoon, pushing the closely contested Senate race between Senator Bill Nelson and Governor Rick Scott to a manual recount. Kristen Holmes is in West Palm Beach, Florida, and she has more.
The Florida election recount by machine deadline has passed, and where we are in Palm Beach County, they failed to meet it. After a series of technical issues involving old machines overheating, they seemingly almost gave up earlier today. We came here early in the morning and we saw that there was no one here. When we asked the supervisor of elections why it was that nobody was counting the ballots so close to the deadline, she said she had sent people home to sleep, that they had been working round the clock. But again, there's going to be a lot of questions about that. Were they waiting for this lawsuit? Democrats had filed a lawsuit to try to get an extension on all 67 counties. That did fail hours before the deadline, meaning again that Palm Beach County did not make that cut. So essentially what happens now is that they're ending their results from the election. Unofficial results will be certified by the state of Florida. They are expecting the Senate race between Governor Rick Scott and Senator Bill Nelson to come to a manual recount. There are going to be a lot of questions here. That means every ballot will be counted by hand. There are still a litany of lawsuits in court that could change this, but right now it's a waiting game to see what exactly is next. Reporting from Palm Beach County, I'm Kristen Holmes. Back to you.
A host of major media organizations are supporting CNN and White House reporter Jim Acosta. Both are plaintiffs in the lawsuit against the White House over its ban of Acosta and the revocation of his press pass. The suit alleges the ban violates CNN and Acosta's First and Fifth Amendment rights. On Wednesday, a joint statement was released, signed by multiple news outlets, including Fox News, NBC, the Associated Press, USA Today, the New York Times, and many others. The statement said White House reporters should never be banned for arbitrary reasons and they must be free to ask questions. Many of the news outlets that signed the statements also said they will file Friends of the Court briefs on behalf of CNN. In response to the lawsuit, the Justice Department says the White House rejects the idea that it can't decide which journalists can and cannot be given a permanent press pass. A hearing will be held in U.S. District Court in Washington Wednesday afternoon.
In some positive news, Harvard University elected the first black woman president for the student newspaper. Starting next year, Christine Guillaume will serve as president of the Crimson, Harvard University student newspaper. She'll be the first black woman president in the paper's nearly 150 years. Guillaume is a joint African-American Studies and History and Literature concentrator. She's coming off a summer internship with CBS Evening News broadcast in D.C. Guillaume's term officially starts in January 1st. She's an esteemed company, as the paper has also been led by Presidents JFK and Franklin D. Roosevelt.
Wow, it's a pretty good company.
It's a good group.
This past Sunday, we gave our thanks to those who served. The Illinois Union went above and beyond and hosted a luncheon for the veterans of the local community.
I want everyone gathered here today to find a veteran and thank them for their service today.
The luncheon had the flag ceremony as well as a speech from guest speaker Peter Milinkovich. Milinkovich talked about his time serving and how important it is to say thanks and be there for veterans returning from duty. To Senior Paul McClanahan, Veterans Day means appreciating the sacrifices members of the military have made.
For me, my dad was in the Navy for 30 years, deployed to Iraq in '07. So for me, it's about remembering and just appreciating what you have, because for people outside of the world of the veteran, it's hard to truly understand.
Those attending had a chance to talk to the veterans and really get to hear their experiences firsthand. Even though Veterans Day is over, you can always thank a veteran for their service.
The body of former North Ogden, Utah Mayor Major Brent Taylor is back home. Taylor was killed in Afghanistan earlier this month. CNN's Caitlin Burchell shows us how his community came together to honor his sacrifice.
If a community is only as strong as its leader,
he is personification of patriotism and love and service.
It's obvious Major Taylor it is marked.
He wanted to hug me. I didn't even know him, for really personally, but he was always there for us.
And then just to hear the tragedy of that he's coming home, but he's not coming home how we want him to.
They're just crossing the tracks. Or about to cross the tracks.
Despite the crisp November chill, residents of his hometown crowded Washington Boulevard and beyond.
It's a way to teach them our love in our community and the unity that we feel.
Some waiting outside for more than an hour to secure a spot along the procession route to pay their respects.
You never realize how close your community is until you have something like this happen.
While Major Taylor's hearse passed by quickly, the memory of this moment
We'll forever be grateful for it. So
will last a long time.
Seeing everybody lining up and the flags and the love.
So while this community may have lost its leader,
I'm just so proud to be part of this community and to have known Brent Taylor.
The legacy he left will keep this morning's city moving forward together.
The funeral will take place Saturday afternoon.
A true hometown American hero. I'm sure his family is very proud of him. Even here on campus, there were multiple luncheons that were happening, so it shows our campus really cares about veterans.
Yeah, and it's really great to see what's been going on here in Illinois, but also in Utah and throughout the country. It's a time to honor those who have fought for us.
Speaking of our country, our very own UI7's Shane Eisenhuth will give you the forecast for here and nationwide.
And we'll also have some Thanksgiving Day sports predictions and a recap of the past few weeks in sports with our own Dylan Hopp. See you soon.
Happy Thanksgiving! Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for break. Rebecca, what are you most thankful for this season?
I am most thankful to have as wonderful of a co-anchor as you.
Best friends. I love that so much. I'm so thankful for GMI and all of the awesome things that we have planned this week. So guys, tune in on Friday to find out more about what we're thankful for this season.
So excited!
Yay!
Red shirt, blue shirt, yellow shirt, oops. Yellow pants, red pants, green pants, oops.
Truth is, I'm impressed. I haven't been asked such intelligent questions in a long time. Nice.
Thank you.
You're very smooth.
You're very smooth yourself.
Hello and welcome back to UI7 News. For those just joining us now, I'm Joseph Longo.
And I'm Aaron Navarro. Can you believe we're already halfway done with November? I sure can't. Let's take a look at this weekend's weather forecast with weather reporter Shane Eisenhuth. Shane, what can you tell us?
Shane Eisenhuth with today's weather report. As we take a look at these Midwest temperatures, Des Moines and Kansas City aren't getting any higher than 50 degrees. As we take a look locally, you can see that the Champaign-Urbana area isn't getting any higher than 34. As we take a closer look, you can see that the surrounding area isn't getting any higher than 34 either, with Springfield even getting as low as 32. As we take a look into tonight, you can see that it's going to be a low of 25 and it'll be partly cloudy, but it looks like it's going to be clearing up just in time for your commute home. That being said, make sure you grab a sweater because it will be chilly. As we move into tomorrow, it'll be partly cloudy, so it will look to warm up a little bit. Unfortunately, the winds are going to be strong, so it won't be that warm with a high of 40 degrees. As we take a look at the weekend, we can see that the snow returns on Saturday and Sunday. But this is a perfect time to take things indoors. You can go check out the women's basketball game this Sunday, or even go to a movie to stay warm. Luckily, the sun will return for your commute to work on Monday. That's my take on the weather. What did you guys think?
Well, a lot of people are going to be driving home this weekend or sooner, maybe tonight for Thanksgiving break. So I just hope the roads are in good condition for them.
And you know, it's cold and snowy here, but other parts of the country have a different story.
Yeah.
Today marks 1 week since the Camp and Woolsey fires began burning in Southern California, and some people are finally allowed back in their neighborhoods. In Northern California, the Butte County Sheriff's Department will begin taking DNA samples today from people who are missing a family member. CNN's Omar Jimenez reports.
With the sun up here on the West Coast, another full day of firefighting begins, trying to tackle the multiple wildfires continuing to burn across the state and trying to make sure many communities don't turn into what you see behind me here in Calabasas. Now, in the northern part of California, the Camp Fire has already become the deadliest this state has ever seen, on top of the most destructive. And unfortunately, overnight, we saw the death toll rise. And again, while they have been making progress on containing that blaze, there is still so much more work to be done. As firefighters take control of the Woolsey and Camp Fires in California, many people remain missing.
There are a lot of people that want some answers. They are depending on us to find their loved one.
The National Guard is assisting in the search, sifting through debris and turning over rubble, looking for bodies. The grim task is taking its toll on crews.
Everybody that's involved here has an emotional connection to this. A lot of the people that are from this community have directly been impacted by either losing their home or know somebody that lost their home.
The majority of the missing are from Paradise, a Northern California town all but wiped from the face of the earth.
We went all over town yesterday and we did not see any neighborhood that wasn't devastated.
The mayor of Paradise says they were not prepared for the fire's speed.
The winds were so strong, it was blowing embers 1 to 2 miles. The fire chief told me that. It was just blowing in 2 miles at a time. We had no time at all, maybe 5 minutes.
Still, she is confident they will rise from the ashes.
We're gonna come back, we're gonna rebuild, we're gonna make Paradise Paradise again.
And yesterday, FEMA Administrator Brock Long was among those who got the chance to tour the Camp Fire damage there, and he described it as one of the most complicated disasters this nation has ever seen. Now, here in the southern part of the state, in Calabasas, they are continuing to battle the Woolsey fire. Good news, it is more than halfway contained, and firefighters are hoping to take advantage of some weak winds to make some real inroads and try to get it ever closer to that finish line. Reporting from Calabasas, California, I'm Omar Jimenez.
This is all part of the task of locating more than 100 people still unaccounted for.
100 and more people, my condolences go out to them. That's a pretty terrible situation happening in California.
Yeah, it's quite unfortunate. And I think even if we have good weather here in the States right now, in Illinois, we got to remember that.
Yeah. Speaking of the weather here in Illinois, Shane, you said it was snowing. As far as you know if it's snowing the week after, or what's it looking like?
The snow seems to continue to this weekend, but like once Monday rolls around, it looks like it's going to be a lot sunnier. So that's good because, I was driving home the other day and I got stuck on my driveway. I was driving up and I just wasn't moving.
Speaking of traction with snow this upcoming week, that might affect the Thanksgiving football games. Isn't that right, Dylan?
Absolutely. I mean, I've got my Thanksgiving football predictions all lined up, and I'm ready to impart this knowledge to UI7.
Yeah. We'll see you then. And yeah.
It takes less than 1 minute to find out if you may have prediabetes. You can do it here. But I get it, you're busy, and busy people can't have prediabetes. I read that wrong. They can, okay? Just go to the site.
I send him a text. He texts me back and say, "Who dis?"
The next few weeks, you just made fun of me, like would answer the door and say, "Who dis?"
Who dis?
Drop off a warm meal and get more than you expect. Volunteer at americaletsdolunch.org.
After 15 years of smoking, Eva Marie quit. There's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Welcome back to UI7 News. My name is Dylan Hopp, and I'm your sports anchor today. Let's get to it. In NFL news, the 9-1 Kansas City Chiefs play the also 9-1 Los Angeles Rams. These two offensive powerhouses rank among some of the best NFL teams at all time in terms of yards per carry. This Monday night could even be a Super Bowl preview, so be sure to get your peanuts out. The 6-3 Chicago Bears have held on to the top spot in the NFC North and hope to keep this lead against the 6-3-1, that's a tie, Minnesota Vikings this Sunday night. I predict a win for the Bears, hold a lead in this series at home, and with quarterback Mitchell Trubisky playing outstanding ball, better than we've ever seen. The Bears also play on Thanksgiving against the Lions. I predict another win for the Monsters of the Midway. Other matchups next Thursday include the Washington Redskins against the mistake-prone Dallas Cowboys and the Atlanta Falcons versus the power-ranked #1 New Orleans Saints. For Turkey Day, my picks are Bears, Redskins, and Saints. And in the NBA, you'll see Jimmy Butler debuted for the 76ers in a dispiriting loss against Orlando in a 111-106 victory. Butler's been the source of controversy and is now playing for an ailing Philadelphia team. The Chicago Bulls suffered a devastating loss in Boston against the Celtics, lowering their records to 4-11. And that was a tough game because that was at home for Boston over there. As you can see, the Bulls have been really struggling this season, and with the loss of Jimmy Butler, that's a couple years past, but it's really just hurt them a lot. And if you look over at college hoops, the Fighting Illini suffered a heartbreaking loss to Georgetown in what would have been a solid victory against a non-conference opponent. The sophomore guard Trent Frazier out for the game. The Illini lost 88-80. Frazier and the Illini look to take on #3 ranked Gonzaga next Monday. And that's about my time for sports. So back to you guys.
For some Fighting Illini basketball fans, the new policy of clear bags at State Farm Center is the topic of discussion. The home of men's and women's basketball games introduced new rules for allowed items this season. According to the policy, any non-transparent bag larger than 4.5 inches by 7 inches is not permitted. Can't bring them in. Many Fighting Illini season ticket holders have prepared for the change by using a clear plastic Illini tote. University alumni Cheryl Sherslick appreciates the precaution because of security crises that have happened at other universities.
Well, there's so many things that happen and nobody expects them to happen at your school, but they certainly could.
The University of Illinois was one of the last schools in the Big Ten Conference to implement the policy. The rules at State Farm Center also apply at Memorial Stadium. If you're interested in your own reusable clear bag, Game Day Spirit has the approved tote at all the retail locations.
With finals just around the corner, students might be looking for a stress relief. UI7 News' Dixie Limbachier has found a possible solution.
You know, we enjoy not just, singing our songs, but also sort of cheering on other people and encouraging people to do different things. Get people out of their own, comfort zones in terms of, what they think they're good at singing and what they don't think they're good at singing.
Karaoke night first came around spring 2018. Morshed and other co-hosts Keenan Swar say that it wasn't about getting a job or filling up their time. It was about creating experiences and challenging themselves.
So we got started with karaoke night last spring, and Mahir and I kind of did it just to get outside of our comfort zone. It was something really crazy and cool that we thought, oh, if we can do this, we can do anything. Life would be absolutely amazing. And it was just really uncomfortable for us, but it was just a great opportunity for us to push ourselves, push our limits for things that we can do.
Morshed and Swahar say that the most important thing about karaoke night is having fun and letting loose on stage. Regular attendee John DeFore says that the co-hosts make karaoke much more inviting.
Yeah, the hosts are great. So they just bring a lot of energy and a lot of fun to the thing. They always start off with their own song, and it's usually a really creative song that not many people know. So they know what they're doing, and they do it well.
We're going to do the community song now, so we're going to need some audience participation.
Now, if you're still reluctant about singing alone, the co-hosts, Morshed and Swahar, have started community karaoke where multiple people can come together and sing. I'm Dixie Limbachier for UI7 News.
Karaoke night is open to students and community members. The event is held every Wednesday at 7 p.m. in the Union Courtyard.
Over time, the UI7 News team has truly grown into a UI7 family. With Thanksgiving right around the corner, the team got a little sentimental and wanted to show our thanks for all that we're grateful for. Take a look.
Hello, UI7 viewers. I'm your boy Joe Longo, and I'm here on the set.
Hello, my name is Aaron.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dixie Limbachier.
What's good, UI7? It's your girl, Hannah Raja.
Thanksgiving's coming up. There's a lot to be thankful for. What am I thankful for? I'm thankful for you for viewing. I'm thankful for my family.
This Thanksgiving season, I'm thankful for all my quality friends that I have, both here in Illinois and in Texas.
I'm very thankful for my family. I'm grateful they've given me the opportunity to study journalism at the University of Illinois.
So there's a lot of things I'm thankful for this year. My family, my education.
Honestly, I do not know what I did in my past life to deserve all this, but I'm thankful for the opportunity to create my whole life, to follow my dreams and my passions.
And I'm also thankful for the troops that are stationed overseas right now that aren't able to make it here this Thanksgiving break.
And shouts out my friends for holding me down, keeping me sane, reminding me there is life to be lived.
I'm thankful for the Oscars.
I am thankful for ink. I'm thankful for roses. I'm thankful for the color yellow.
The most important thing is my friends!
And we push each other and we help each other.
Utmost support and love that they've given me throughout my life, and for giving me that tough love when I needed it most too.
Emma Stone, I'm thankful for you.
And lastly, shouts out, thankful for the bass god, Lil B, for just guiding me whenever there's a time of confusion in my life.
And then, when you're being affectionate towards an animal and they get really close and snuggle up to you. And then after a certain point they get so comfortable and they just kind of rest their head on you like that. I'm thankful for that.
Yeah, I'm thankful for you! Yeah! I'm thankful!
So I speak for all of us here when we say we're thankful for you, most our viewers.
Make sure to join us in 2 weeks when UI7 News returns for Thanksgiving break. There won't be a broadcast next week, unfortunately, but we resume our normal schedule Tuesday, November 27th at 5 p.m. Shane, you looking to have a good Thanksgiving?
Yeah, I just want to spend some time with my family. I really miss them.
Yeah. How about you, Dylan? You're all the way from Texas.
Oh, yeah, I'll be going up to Chicago.
Going to Chicago.
Oh, nice. Staying with the hometown.
I might have to find you. I'll be over there, too.
Sounds good. We'll catch you after break. Have a good Thanksgiving break.
Thank you for tuning in.
Wow. Yeah, that's tough. Is it?